Okie dokie. Today we're going to have a look at Power Gaming versus Faceless. This is the final of the SEA qualifiers for the Summit 6. It says Summit 5, but it should be Summit 6. Alright, so let's go to JabZ's perspective. They smoke up out of the well, which is good to know. This way his allies know that the enemy is smoked, and you know they're going to be trying to place wards just like his allies are. You see that the Ogre Magi gets a really deep ward in. Now JabZ is a 7.8k player, so he is very good at Dota, and I wanted to do this replay because it was interesting. The commentators in the game were actually saying that JabZ doesn't play a very good Invoker. And whilst that might be true, I think that he plays in such a manner that is consistent and solid, and it doesn't really matter if he doesn't play a 9k Invoker. So XY is just going to get harassed a little bit. They're going to have to spend a lot to kill him. Looks like they are going to dive him.
Last of my kind, but first in this my true face.
So old mate dies to the. They get a 2-for-1 out of it. Oh my god.
My waters rise.
Now I joined the game at about 4 minutes, I think. So I missed all the early game. So this will be interesting to see how he goes. But as I was saying, he plays a very solid Invoker. You know, it might not be a 10k equivalent Invoker, but it's still pretty damn good. Alright, so Sunstrike to try and secure the ranged let's see, a little bit of gaze here. They're trying to fake each other out. And you see that DDZ, I covered an Invoker replay by him, and it's very obvious how good he is at Dota. He's a very, very good mid laner. So right now, what JabZ needs to do is secure that range creep so that he keeps his experience going. Okay, and that's why he's fighting so hard over it. Is because in these high-level matchups, getting that range creep is pretty much everything. Now, something else to note is that he's got a poor man's shield, so the damage that he does to DDZ isn't really going to be that much. So right now, he's just having to fight quite hard to do what he can here. And his CS is okay. Where the lane is sitting, I'm sure he's okay with, because it's under his tower. You know, whilst he's a bit low on health, he does have a salve on the courier, or at least did.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And once he gets a few levels, he'll be okay. There's pretty much 0 kill potential in this lane for JabZ, simply because the Juggernaut's just going to spin away. There's not really much you can do to kill him, unless he overplays it badly and spins in. For example, if he spins in, then JabZ can kill him. But so long as DDZ just keeps his spin in reserve, there's nothing JabZ can do to actually kill him. And right now he's just trying to deny. You see that DDZ's got a nice advantage over him. But he's not doing too badly, considering that Invoker's attack animation compared to Juggernaut's is very bad. And until Invoker gets some levels, there's no way you're going to out-CS a Juggernaut, at least not to begin with anyway. Until you get to the stage where you can actually start to deal some damage through the poor man's shield, there's not really much you can do. Alright, so he's just getting a few things. He's got his boots, he's got his gloves of haste. And you see that his HP is recovered. So he's just going to ferry out a Clarity. And this laning stage is, you know, going quite fine. Okay, you see that there's probably a big difference insofar as that JabZ hasn't had any help whatsoever, right? He had the Ogre come in and punch DDZ the once, and that's been about it. You know, compare that to the DDZ Invoker game that I had a look at yesterday. And, you know, the Ogre was pretty much just camping Mushi in the mid lane. And right now, JabZ is just manning up a bit against DDZ. Now, that's probably not the best idea because DDZ had the creep advantage. So you see that after DDZ, you know, cleared through JabZ's allied creeps, then JabZ is taking damage from the Dire creeps. And that means that the trade isn't that great in his favour. He's going to try and last hit that, doesn't get it. You can see that he's just trying to keep the pressure up on DDZ. And this is something that you can do, is when he spawns in his healing ward, you can send your Forge Spirit to go and kill it. But DDZ, 8k, he just micros the healing ward out of JabZ's reach, which is quite funny. So right now, it's important to know that when DDZ gets 6, he's going to try and Omni Slash JabZ. Alright, that's going to be a clear timing. And he's probably going to need help, so JYC lobs up. The Conker's here as well. You know, there's 3 heroes in the mid lane. So he does his best to fight it off. So he gets a bit unlucky there. He eats 2 Omni Slashes. But he does help them out and, you know, they get a return kill on the Conker. Which isn't the best, but you take what you can get. So let's go back and have a quick look at this gank. So, right now, you'll see that he comes into vision. And instantly he backs up. So spawns in Forge Spirits. He's going to Sunstrike himself because he knows that these 2 heroes are going to be on top of him. And you see that he had Cold Snap up. If he lived long enough, he would have Cold Snapped someone as well. And in that circumstance, you know, he's done as well as he can do. I think that his approach there shows, you know, a fairly common approach to when you get ganked as Invoker, and especially if they're melee, is you Sunstrike yourself because you know where they're going to be. They're going to be trying to punch you, so you can Sunstrike a position and expect them to be either in that position. He gets a little bit unlucky with about 4 misses here on that range creep, but you can expect them to be in a certain position, right? So he's just you know, doing what he can to farm up right now. He's doing okay in terms of last hits. Looking around the map, just remaining aware of what's going on. You see that he prioritizes lane creeps over jungle creeps. You know, he had a full wave pushing into his tower here, and he went back to get him. So right now they're getting dived up top, and that's just great communication. Between Ice and JabZ, Ice has probably said, look, I got a stun, and JabZ has gone, alright, stun him. And it's a simple play, you know, you wait for the stun to go out, then you Sunstrike. It's a little bit harder to coordinate in pubs, that's for sure, but it's something that, you know, you can replicate. You just need to be watching for longer. You see here, they're going to try and chain it up. and they're going to do a lot of damage to him, and they're actually going to kill him. So it works out really, really well for them. So yeah, as I was saying, in pubs, to make that kind of play, obviously over the mic, Ice can just
top tower is under attack.
can say, hey, I'm stunning Sunstrike here. To get that off in pubs, what you want to do is you just want to be watching a little bit longer. Okay, when you see people getting dived, you just need to watch. And then as you see them go for the stun, obviously you have Sunstrike invoked and you Sunstrike it. But you can see how simply JabZ is playing. This isn't... Landing those Sunstrikes is a fairly easy skill. I would say, you know, that's probably things that you would expect a 2K invoker to do. You know, is to reliably land a Sunstrike on a stun target. That's 2K kind of stuff. So right now he's just farming some camps up because he's a little bit behind, but he's going quite well. He's got his Midas up, you know, 8.5 minutes. He's got boots, raindrop. He's doing okay. It was funny in the game. The commentators mentioned how JabZ was pretty much playing Invoker like Ancient Apparition, insofar as he was he was just sitting in the jungle farming and then contributing with Sunstrikes around the map. So right now, they're playing 3v4 in the top lane. Black is in the bottom lane farming. And because of Sunstrike, his team isn't really outnumbered at the clash. You know, up top, they're not really outnumbered because JabZ has a 350 damage pure nuke. And again, same thing, right? He knows where the stun's going to be. He waits for the stun, Sunstrikes it. And that secures kills. And in the early game, Invoker is so strong. So right now, he doesn't have Sunstrike because it's on cooldown. But Ice is just going ham. He's like, yeah, whatever. Space created. He takes the mid tower. So right now, Ice could, you know, you could attempt a Sunstrike there, but it's pretty low percentage because the Conquer knows it's coming, right? He's got amp on him, which means the Invoker can see him. It's very, it's a low percentage play, shall we say. So right now, JabZ is pushed in the middle lane. He's just going to go back to the jungle and farm. Again, he's just keeping an eye on the map, making sure that that if there is a point at which he can help out, he does. Right now, Lance is just getting you know, harassed down, and he's got Sunstrike ready. And you see that Sunstrike missed because it wasn't set up by a stun. It's always that question of, what am I trading here? So in that circumstance, JabZ was trading 175 mana for a cheeky kill on the enemy core, which probably not that bad of a shot, to be honest. Right now, they're going to stun him up. Now they do a really nice job of chaining their abilities, however, Strength Morph is very strong. Right now, JabZ decides to rotate top. He's got his drums, which means that this is quite a substantial power spike for Invoker. Once you've got your drums and 2 Forge Spirits, you're very, very strong. So he pops drums for his team. Unfortunately, he eats a whole bunch of damage. He has to Ghost Walk out. But right now, he's controlling his Forge Spirits, okay? He's got Sunstrike. He Sunstrikes the enemy hero. And right now, he's just maintaining his positioning. Okay, he's around, but he's not in. So they get 4, and when they've got 4, he knows that it's safe to go for the 5th. Okay, and he secures that kill just by backing off from the fight, knowing the limits of his hero, insofar as he had no mana, so There's not really much he can do apart from right-click people, but that was all that was required to secure that last kill. And now the game is going very, very nicely for Faceless. Let's switch over to net worth. You can see that he's a long way in front of everyone, including his safe lane carry, and that's just the effect of Midas and Forge Spirits. You know, the Invoker is a very, very fast farming hero. Whilst he doesn't have a natural cleave or an ability to hit multiple things at one time without using something like Meatball or Deafening Blast, he can still clear the jungle camps very, very quick. So he gets out of there, goes back, picks up some mana, which is very interesting. Or not interesting, very important. Rather than staying out on the map, he just fills himself back up and then he's good to go. Right now, he knows that Ice is moving into position for a gank. And Ice actually has he has Lifestealer on board, and again, it's a very simple combination. The Slider goes in, he stuns, immediate Sunstrike, okay, because you can hit that very easily. If you were trying to wait to secure the kill, it becomes a lot harder. And the Ogre is getting chased down bottom, but you take that, you know, you take that trade of the Ogre for the enemy Morphling any day.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So very important, he pushes in the mid lane. He's going to farm this hard camp while he's there. They're TPing in top. Now this is probably one of the few mistakes that he makes. He gets caught and X'd, and right now his team just is in no position to fight this. And that's probably a very, one of the very few mistakes JabZ makes in this game. He ran in when he should have ran away. Invoker never wants to be on the front lines, just in case that kind of thing happens, where the Conquer X's you, and if you get X'd, you're just dead. Like, there's so much burst potential for power. If the Morph gets on top of you, if the Juggernaut gets on top of you, there's an Omniite heal, there's the Oracle nuke. There's so much damage that you're going to die before you can get any spells off. So, death counter, 2. So he's died twice. Once was, a minor mistake. And right now, he's going to try and turn this around on DDZ. Brilliant crush there by Ice. And that was just map awareness, okay? Because right now, okay, he's dead, but he's not AFK, right? He's looking around the map. He's actively looking, and he sees DDZ, and he TPs in. Okay, Sunstrike for vision. Gets his Forge Spirits up, but there's no real need because Ice just nailed him straight on the head. Right? That kind of map awareness and that vision is something that, you know, I was talking about, you know, 2K players can hit a Sunstrike on a stun target. 2K players can't read that on the map. You know, they would have been asleep while they were dead. And they wouldn't have realised. Amp damage, good skill. They take Roshan, 16 minutes. You'll see that in most Invoker games, the Invoker wants to take Roshan before 20 minutes. And indeed can, because by then he'll have Midas, drums, you know, boots of travel, or most of the Yules. You know, he's going to have enough items. So right now, he misses a Sunstrike there because JYC actually is a little bit unpredictable, and that's just feeding. You know, they're taking advantage there of the enemy just TPing in front of their face. But they want to fight, so you see here, JabZ makes a good decision and TP's mid. Okay, they can't take that fight. They can't fight into it. They don't have all their heroes. They've got 2 top. You know, there's it's just understanding the game at a level, at a high level as well. So you'll notice that now on the map, okay, Radiant are pushing 2 towers, while the Dire are pushing 1. And this
is under attack. Top tower.
And this is, you know, quite a good trade for Faceless.
Dire's middle
So he's going to pop drums to do as much damage to this tower as possible. You can see how he's playing very cautiously. He doesn't want to get caught here. Right, backs off from the tower once the enemy starts to lob up. And right now he's going to rotate down and see if he can help catch these two heroes. And to see how much damage Black does. You know, he's just an absolute beast at this stage. He's just going to run ham and smash him. Right, so he gets Cold Snap on JYC. And this game is just kind of over. The Ogre finishes him off. You know, there's not... You can see how simply JabZ has played. And it hasn't been anything like massively fancy. We haven't seen a meatball or a deafening blast or anything. He's used 3 spells: Cold Snap, Forge Spirits, and Sunstrike, and Alacrity. 4. So he's used 4 spells in 20 minutes of gameplay. Okay? And I think that this guy is well, obviously he's good at Dota. But I think that there's lots that yeah, scrub tier players could learn from this. That you don't have to be a mad fancy Invoker player to be good at an Invoker. You know, as you head towards late game, obviously you want to have skills, but I think in terms of like getting to the late game and putting yourself in the best position possible, this kind of very simple, very high percentage form of play is the best thing you could be doing. So he picks up a 19-minute Aghanims, drums, BOTs, Midas. He's farmed. He's going at about 500 GPM right now, and in Dota generally what happens is your GPM increases over the course of the game. So if he's going at 500 GPM at 20 minutes, you know, this is kind of it's a 600 or 700 GPM game by the time that the game's over. And the game's pretty close to over. You know, Faceless are a long way in front right now. You can see that they've got map control. They've got some really dirty wards right outside their base. The creep waves are pushed in. There's not really much they can do. So Sunstrike on an illusion. It's a little bit unfortunate, but you know, whatever. Lance actually goes in there because they do have him caught. And right now, JabZ TP's in. That's the first deafening blast of the game. So Alacrity up, and here it's just a matter of running in. So he gets the Ice Wall on 3-4 heroes, which is absolutely crazy. Landing an Ice Wall on that many heroes is pretty much like landing a stun on that many heroes, because they just can't move. Right, so DDZ just dodges everything. Now, they actually get DDZ by the Fatal Bonds, which is interesting. The damage that they did to Lance actually killed the Juggernaut. And there you go, that's GG. So I hope that this replays have been some interest to you, and I look forward to seeing you next time.